Nature's best, Bobtail.
Welcome back to Espresso here on SABC3, and right now we are talking pet etiquette when it comes to living in small spaces or an apartment. Now, if that is you, you want to make sure that your pets are very well behaved, because the last thing you want is for your neighbor to breathe down your neck because your puppy can't stop barking, because that can be grounds to kick you out. And of course, we have Ansi Minna with us this morning, Bob's trainer and animal behaviorist, to give us a few tips. Ansi, welcome this morning.
Thank you.
I see Bob is always so chilled out when you come. I don't know how you do it. It must be the energy that you put out. So, small spaces. I know what it's like to live in an apartment. I have 2 Yorkies myself, and you know it's quite a mission, if you don't know what you are doing in terms of keeping your puppies, well behaved. But in general, what are some of the things that you need to keep in mind when you do live in a small space or an apartment?
Probably to start off with a suited dog would be a good idea, because then you'd have less hassles down the line. Yeah. There's small and big dogs that are suited to apartment living. Your bigger ones, for example, could be your Great Dane, your Bull Mastiff. These are low-energy dogs. Generally, you want a low-energy dog, a dog that's probably more easily trainable, and dogs that are not inclined to bark. So on the big scale of dogs, you've got those 2. Smaller, you can look, certainly your French Bulldogs, brilliant option.
Definitely.
Your Poodles, great option. Pugs, another nice option.
Okay.
These are all easy dogs in apartments.
So it goes to the type of breed as well. So you wouldn't recommend Yorkies for a small apartment?
I actually wouldn't, and I see so many of them there. The reason being that they were originally bred to tunnel under vermin, rabbits and things. And if they get stuck in a tunnel, like suddenly a tight squeeze, and they bark a lot, the owner, the farmer, can dig them out. If they're not noisy, they're gone. Goodbye, dog. So they're bred for the barking. So you really don't want a Yorkie in an apartment.
So make no mistake. Even if they're small, fluffy and cute, they are noisy. I have 2 of them, I know. Now, let's say you are living in an apartment, you want to get a new puppy, you look at the breed, fine, you get a dog that will suit a small living, but how do you go about potty training that dog, because you don't have the luxury of a garden?
2 ways. I would go with both options. A, regularly take them downstairs for a little walk around the block. There's not a lot of things that happen in an apartment living to keep them interested, occupied, or play space or anything like that. So it can be quite boring, which is why you start seeing dogs having barking problems, because they're just plain bored. So
it's up to you to really keep them occupied in the flat as well.
Absolutely. So you'd want to do that, the walks, at least twice a day. And then in addition to that, I would also recommend training them to go and do their business on the veranda or balcony. You can plant grass in a little planter, a low little one.
Yes.
And voila, they've got grass to go and pee and poo on.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, when you get a new puppy, teach them to go out, several times a day, at least twice a day. Obviously, 3 times would be better, morning, midday, and afternoon. And you mentioned to keep him busy in the flat. Is that in terms of toys?
Yes, you get lots of toys that are brilliant these days, interactive type toys, things to keep them occupied. Just briefly, you've got those stunning balls with holes in it, treat balls, where instead of feeding them out of a bowl, which takes 30 seconds flat to finish, and then the whole day is still ahead, this could take them half an hour to get through that, and they're playing and they're mentally stimulated as they roll the ball and the food falls out and they eat. It just keeps them occupied.
That's a great thing, getting some exercise in as well.
Yes.
Now, another important point, if you're moving into an apartment block and you have your dog, and your dog tends to bark a lot, I mean, how do you stop the dog from barking in the house to every little noise he hears?
Again, a tired dog is a good dog.
Okay.
So if you can, A, keep your dog occupied, particularly from puppy, so it hasn't developed into a bad habit, this barking episode, but you want to keep him busy, you want to give him toys, you want to give him things to do. So the rolling ball, the chewing. Chewing is brilliant. If you give them like a frozen lolly, your stuffed cow hoof that's frozen, that chewing alone will release endorphins, settles your whole dog, and he goes to sleep, and life's too blissful and life's quiet. So there's a lot of things you can do to keep your dog occupied. That's the bottom line. A bored dog is a problem dog.
So
in
that's
an
the
apartment.
main thing I hear. Keep your dog occupied when living in a small space.
And tired.
And tired. Keep him occupied and tired.
Mentally and stimulated and physically.
Ansi, thank you so much, and also for the wonderful work
You're
that you
welcome.
are doing with Bob. I appreciate it. And we'll leave you hanging. There's Ansi Minnar, Bob's trainer, giving you some great advice on how to manage your pet when you do live in a small space. Right now, your Express coming up next.